Well, Rob, another piece of history for Exeter Chiefs into their first ever European Cup semi-finals. Be delighted.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, through with the result, through for the players to have come through a real tough challenge today, because it was challenging in all kinds of ways. I think all through the week, it's been mentally challenging a little bit. You know, hearing that you're quite large favourites and that there's an expectation that the game will come and go and everyone will move on. You know, those kind of things are tough in professional sport, because it just never really works out that simply. It just never does. So I think we've done really well to deal with that, and obviously done really well to deal with what looked like, you know, an energised and enthusiastic and determined Northampton side with a lot of good players in there. You know, I think sometimes when a team are losing a bit of form, you forget that a team's got guys like, you know, Dan Bigger and Tamana Harrison, Courtney Laws. You know, these guys, they're international rugby players, you know, and they're in there for a reason, because they're a good side. And I think they challenged us in a lot of areas today. We didn't really get control of territory as we would normally like, and that was a challenge for us. But it was a challenge we came through, and obviously some individual great scores kept the scoreboard ticking over and kept it, the last part of the game, comfortable. But overall, you know, that was a tough game of rugby, very tough at half time, and we dealt with that scoreboard pressure, I thought, extremely well, and got on with things. And that's all I can really ask of the players, is to get on with things.
Must have been very pleased, despite everything they threw at you in the first half. It took until just before the break that they got over your whitewash. Yeah, and I think that's important. I think that's really important. We made them work everywhere. So even though things didn't all go the way we wanted to, we didn't concede soft points. I mean, I think, you know, there was one area where we conceded some soft tries, but we dug ourselves out of a bit of pressure in the corner here. I think there was a try from a maul that we would describe as probably relatively soft, where we gave up, after a good set of defence, we gave up a soft penalty for no releasing the tackle, which was obviously a clear penalty. I'm not quite sure what we were doing. That allows them to get field position 5 metres out, and you're not going to stop a team every time they have a 5 metre driving line out. We actually did it very well for most of the game today, but we gave them far too many opportunities. You know, I'm going to be very hopeful we don't give Toulouse that many opportunities to get 5 minutes from our try line, because it'll be a tough ask to keep them out over and over again. But that said, you know, they're human like any other side. If you work them hard enough, cracks will appear, and I think that's what happened a little bit today. That in the end, some cracks appeared in the Northampton team that we were able to exploit. Important to get the first score in the second half, and what a score it was from Jack Nowells.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, isn't it? You see a couple of exceptional, like, long range tries from like Nosey, and then later on from Jack's, and it kind of, I'm not saying put a false view on the game, because you've got to still score those, and you need the players who can score them. And as I said on the TV, you need to create an element of fatigue in the game for some of those tackles to get missed. And I thought that's probably what we did. We created probably enough fatigue in the game in the first 60 minutes or so to make some other mistakes happen at other times in the games. And you've got to credit the players for that, because, you know, every game's hard work, and every European quarter-final is hard work. It doesn't matter who you play or what the circumstances are, and we've come through it. And so, you know, I'm delighted for where we go as a club, but I'm more than anything delighted for the reward the players are getting for their hard work.
And it looks like you've come through with a clean bill of health.
At this stage, yeah. Well, we nobody came off injured, which has been unusual for us in the last few weeks. So that's good news. Hopefully that will allow us in a short training week to get 2 real good training days in, because that's going to be important, and that allows us to feel well prepped for the Toulouse game, which will obviously be important. To be well prepped for that game will feel important for the lads. Obviously, what's to our benefit is Toulouse have got a fair bit of travelling to do, and the travelling within the COVID situation at the moment is pretty tough. And, you know, we've got to try and use all of those things to our benefit, and make sure we work them really hard when they turn up at Sandy Park, and make it a game that's very tough for them.
You've never played Toulouse in Europe. They're one of the big European powers. Yeah. It looks like a cracking semi, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, it should be exactly what you want. I think it's what we need, to be honest with you. I think the group of players involved today probably need a really tough, exciting game, because when you think about it, you know, the way the Premiership's turned out, you know, we got a couple of tough games under our belt early on with Leicester and Sale, and then really it's kind of rotated round a little bit, where we probably this group have probably ended up playing against rotated teams a little bit more than the midweek team, so to speak, who played against stronger teams. And so actually today, being a tough game for them, will be good. It'll be a good blowout for them. It'll be a good workout mentally and physically, and they can really look forward now going into what will be a fantastic occasion for them.